Media Watch Now, James Credence here. James, it's been quite an interesting day, especially with Wikipedia deciding to hold this blackout protest on its English website.
That's right.
English language website.
Right.
So it's the US, it's the UK, Ireland, obviously.
Right.
You know.
There's a couple of ways around that blackout, actually, just to start with that. First of all, you could learn another language if you wanted to.
Sure.
Or you just go on the mobile version of the website. If we go on the computer now, I can show you what has been pointed out on a number of websites. This is the m.wikipedia.org webpage, which you can get if you are a mobile user, or if you just type m before wikipedia.org online. So it wouldn't be the most efficient blackout in the history of blackouts, it's worth being said. But of course the point is they're trying to underline their reservations about these two laws that the US Senate and House of Representatives are trying to pass, laws that supposedly protect, that would protect IP, that's intellectual property, and they're anti-piracy laws, so you can't be stealing Hollywood movies, series, etc. without paying the people who produce it. That's the idea, except a lot of people are saying this could be used as a sort of a Trojan horse for a controlling state that could be used as a way of controlling the web, controlling the internet, censorship essentially. And I suppose some of the sensationalists out there, although perhaps they're not 100% wrong, are saying it's about the first formal efforts for internet control or censorship. And one guy who I thought was quite interesting, I found his quote online. He's a guy by the name of Jim Harper, working for a think tank on individual liberties and all this. His quote is, "The internet is not the government's to regulate. It is an agreement on a set of protocols, a language the computers use to talk to each other. That language is the envelope in which our communications, our First Amendment protected speech, travels in hundreds of different forms." So from his point of view, the internet is merely the language through which computers communicate with each other. That means it's a language. That means it should be protected by freedom of expression and freedom of speech laws. So this would be the first step in a very sort of murky process, according to, I suppose, the doomsayers, in a murky process of controlling the web.
But isn't this about, on the one hand, stopping, sort of film companies, actors, directors, the people who create, sort of the films that are illegally downloaded? It's about protecting their livelihoods, isn't it?
It is, and that is true. But I suppose it's the means by which that could allow the government to control other websites in the future. There is a video that we could play actually that explains it very well. And what they're saying is that you have startups, small internet companies, whose livelihood would be threatened very severely by this law. You've got Hollywood, okay, that contributes to the US economy, it should be protected. But what about all of these little startups, these websites, etc., that host perhaps a pirated link, maybe unbeknownst to them? They could now be shut down under the terms of this these new laws. So a company that, for example, has just one copyright infringing link on its website could be shut down. Also, you have sites that, for example, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, which host user-driven sites, user content-driven sites. If you put up a link of a video that it has been copyrighted, the YouTube or Tumblr or Facebook themselves are liable. So it puts these websites under a lot of difficulty.
So something I might want to share with my kids or my friends, something that I've seen which,
on YouTube
unbeknownst to me, is copyrighted.
Yes.
If I paste that on the Facebook page, that could be falling foul of this new legislation.
You could be facing trouble with the law, as could the website itself. So it's going to require these websites to take down that material. So just to have a look at the way in which it's played out online today, a lot of people are kind of making light in a way of Wikipedia's blackout. You had The Guardian putting up a live blog called Gardapedia. So what they did is they pulled out from the boxes the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1989, dusted it off, and they said, send in any question you want. We're going to go through Encyclopedia Britannica from 1989 and get the answers for you. So of course then they were trying to illustrate how slow that process was, going back to the pre-internet era. And this is what, I suppose, what they were trying to illustrate is the fears out there of what the internet could look like if websites were taken down permanently or shut down.
It could be a remarkable sort of like walk back, couldn't it, in time, I suppose, in a sense.
Absolutely. So it's a funny thing to look at today, the Gardapedia live blog, if you want to kind of take what would you say, a walk down memory lane.
A nice walk down memory lane should be good fun,
Yes, exactly.
If they still allow us to do that kind of thing.
Although it's still a website, it's still a live blog, so it's not really that accurate. But anyway.
James, thank you very much for
Mark.
explaining why Wikipedia is not working in certain languages and why it is in others. Good stuff. James Creedon there with Media Watch. Thank you. Short break, stay with us. We've got more news to come, including in the sport, how France have given themselves a handballing lifeline. France defending the European title. They lost their first game. They managed to, well, I won't tell you the whole story. Join us for sport. That's on our next Slice of Life in Paris coming up.